All right, video number 2. We are going to look at these theorems really quickly, and then we will turn the page and jump into a couple of problems. So the isosceles triangle theorem says if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite the sides are congruent. We covered that in the first video. The next one says the converse of the isosceles triangle theorem. Now y'all are used to converses. It just means the opposite, using the opposite of what was said before to prove something. The converse says if two angles of a triangle are congruent, then the opposite sides of those angles are also congruent. Let's read that one more time. If two angles of a triangle are congruent, then the sides opposite those angles are congruent. So again, like I said, just the opposite of before. So let's flip the page to page 274 in your book, and I'm going to come over here and focus on my notebook. So what this problem says is find each angle measure. This is example 2, and we are skipping example 1 and the proof on the previous page. So you're jumping ahead to example 2, and we're asked to find angles in this triangle. All right, so let's look at this isosceles triangle. We have a vertex angle with a measure of 38 degrees. We have two congruent angles, and that tells us also that we are going to have, I said two congruent angles, y'all know me, I meant two congruent sides, 1, 2. Now of course that tells us that we also have two congruent angles, one right here and one right here. Now they want us to find the measure of angle C. Angle C is right there. Now how are we going to do this? We know that this is congruent to this, and the other thing we know in geometry is that all the angles of a triangle add up to be 180 degrees. So if we add x plus x, because we know that these are the same, we would have x plus x plus, because if we add those two with 38 degrees, we know that those three angles will add up to equal 180 degrees. So in solving, that simply becomes 2x plus 38 equals 180. 2x, sorry about the shadows in here, I know that's not perfect. 2x equals, what is that going to be? Let's see, 142, I believe. And x equals, let me check my math really quickly. Yes, and x equals 71. So let's come back to our diagram. We know that this angle is going to equal 71 degrees. Because that angle is congruent to this angle, we also know that angle C is going to equal 71 degrees. All right? Angle C equals 71 degrees because the theorems that we read on the previous page said that the two angles across from the two congruent sides of an isosceles triangle are going to be congruent. All right, let's stop there and then we'll do the next one. So this is video 2. Watch for video 3.